Hey Sagittarius, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. This is going to be your reading for the new moon in Cancer, which is coming up on July 5th. So, new moons, if you've been around my channel, I've done previous new moon readings. So, it's about new growth and a new beginning for a new cycle. Um, it is in Cancer this time. Cancer likes to protect itself. They like to hold in things, and they've got that hard outer shell. On the inside, they're ooey gooey though, and so they don't always show what it is that they're feeling. So during this time with the new moon in Cancer, we want to think about starting to plant those seeds of what we've kept hidden. All right, so we want to pull out what you've been hiding and bring it forth to start bringing it into reality and making some, headway with it, right, so to speak. So I'm using a new deck, and it is the Dream Ritual Oracle cards. So I've pulled a card for you to kind of get a basis of your dream state. So your dreaming is not only at night when you're asleep, but it's also during the day when you daydream. And a lot of it is your subconscious mind knocking at your door and trying to come up to your conscious mind so you can deal with it. So whether you're dreaming and you wake up and you remember that dream, or if you find yourself, like if you're driving to work, or, driving or walking, or just finding yourself stargazing in the middle of the day thinking about something, that's your subconscious mind trying to let you know that there's something inside of you that you're feeling and that they want you to deal with. So the card that came out for you was compassion. So this particular card during this phase of the moon, so right now we are in the wanting phase, right? So that's the stage that's right after the full moon. And so you can see there's a heart right there in the middle of a lotus flower. So it's now's the time for you to show compassion for yourself, a situation, and others around you. So it's, deals with the heart, it's empathy, it's having consideration, kindness, and humanity. So, you need to have compassion for yourself more than ever during this time. Focus on nurturing self-care. However, being self-absorbed is, something you want to be mindful of, and you want to be balanced. So while you want to show compassion for yourself and for others, be careful to not be too stuck on yourself. Because if you are, which clearly in this reading, there is another person in your life that you're having some complications with. And so you want to deal with that situation during this time, thinking of yourself, but also thinking of the other person, right? So you don't want to stay in a situation that you're not happy with, but you also don't want to be rude and degrading to the person that you may not necessarily want to be around anymore, okay? So I pulled a token for you as well. I wanted to know what it was that Sagittarius needed to, what was this compassion about for you? What area of your life? And give me a little bit of detail. So the token that came out for you was the cactus, and that landed right on home. Okay, that's token number 57. So the cactus represents, for the token, um, a standoff, right? So sort of a standoff attitude, being, resilient in nature. So cactuses are prickly. They hurt, right? When you go to touch it, you can't touch a cactus, by itself. You're better off picking it up while it's, in a pot, or, by the bottom, where the roots are. You don't, nobody wants to grab a cactus when it's all prickly. So for you, and again, take it as it resonates. This could be completely flipped. It could be, Sagittarius, you're dealing with somebody who needs to have more compassion and who is prickly, right? It could be the both of you. But right now, there's clearly some, standoffish, right? And with the little spikes on the cactus, nobody wants to give the other cactus a hug, so to speak, right? It's gonna hurt. So it's like, all right. So I'm like, tell me a little bit more. What's going on with the home front? Why are we being prickly, right? Why are we being standoffish? Why do we have an attitude? What's happening? So the cards that came out for you from the situations deck was irreconcilable differences, final divorce. You had verge. So this is about to confess. So you can see there's a teapot and tea's being poured into the cup. So somebody's about to spill the tea on the situation. And then we have desire, lust, and sexual chemistry. Okay. So clearly there is some desire that's going on that they're not getting in a current situation. So they're not feeling, like they want to touch somebody, or, right now maybe they don't want to be touched, right? If you're a cactus, nobody wants to touch each other because it's gonna hurt. So right now I'm sensing two people, okay, because when I clarified the irreconcilable differences, we ended up with the Ace of Wands. We ended up with the Hierophant. And we ended up with the Three of Pentacles. And I further clarified a little bit more with the Three of Pentacles, and we ended up with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So basically, this to me, for the majority of you, whenever you're watching this reading, this is when it's meant for you to watch it. So even though this is happening in 2024, new moon in Cancer on July 5th, whenever you come to this reading, just understand that this is your time, and it could be, another new moon, even though right now we're in the energy of Cancer. If you watch this a year from now, this is your time. Everybody's on different timelines. Some of you may watch this and say, I went through that last year. That's cool, right? This will happen when it's meant to happen for who it's meant to happen for. So to me, the majority of you are in a marriage, okay? Because of the, final divorce, the Hierophant, okay? Now, some of you could be just in a really high level commitment that you've been together for a really long time. You've lived together for a really long time, even though, you're not officially married on paper, okay? So the Ace of Wands can mean many things. However, in this particular situation, one of the meanings of the Ace of Wands is, the Ace of Wands represents the male, okay? So let's just think of, how about this? When you see the cactus, the cactus kind of looks like a male, right? Personal, private parts. Well, that's what the Ace of Wands can represent. It's one of the meanings. Don't get hung up and think that every reading you come across when this comes out, that it means male body parts, right? Having, intimacy passion, right, doesn't always mean the sexual chemistry, right? In this particular reading, it does. So in this marriage, I'm going to say marriage could be high level commitment. There just isn't, the cycle's coming to an end, right? With the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is about, cycles ending, new cycles beginning, and you, or take it as it resonates, however you can flip this, because this is clearly about another person. I'm going to say you because it's your reading. Clearly you feel like the cycles come to an end in this marriage. There is no passion. You're not feeling it. For goodness sakes, everybody's walking around with pricklies on them like a cactus. It's attitude, it's irritation, and it's because there isn't any love or compassion going on right now in the situation. And that's what Spirit's telling you. They're telling you right now you need to have some compassion for yourself, have compassion for your partner, okay? Because there might be a reason that they're not feeling so, intimate with you, right? I'm not digging into that. Only you will know. But, two people are just not really getting along, and someone's feeling, okay, I think we've run our cycle out. This is, a situation that has run its course, right? It isn't going anywhere. We've gotten to the point where now we're in standoff mode, and that's where we're at. So now when we come over to the verge where it's time to have this conversation, because remember, like I said, the Cancer energy is, holding it inside, right? Not being forthcoming and opening up about how you feel. So instead of opening up about how you feel, okay, so two people are going to have an attitude with each other, and it's like they're walking around with scissors and swords taped to them, like, don't come near me, and if you do, you're going to get hurt, right? You're going to get cut, you're going to get poked, prodded, however you want to say it. And nobody wants to be in that situation. So when it comes to the verge, when I did the clarification, we ended up with the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Wands. All right. So you feel that when you have this conversation with your partner about how you feel this cycle has come to an end, there's no more love here anymore. Let's just face the music, right? Like I said, you both are about ready to hurt each other because, there's attitudes flying back and forth. Rather than hugs and kisses and all that good stuff, there's negative energy in this current situation. And you are realizing, when you open up to have this conversation with your partner about the fact that you are ready to take action on moving away from this marriage or high level commitment, that it's going to cause tension. It is going to cause, some more fights. It's going to cause, conflict. It's going to be uncomfortable. And so this might be why you've been holding this in for a while. And now it's gotten to the point where, because you haven't opened up about it, now we're all acting out our irritation and anger in other ways, right? Being snippy with each other in the home. You can't do this right, or why are you doing it like this? Why are you late? Why didn't you put your socks in the hamper with, what happens is, instead of opening up about what you really want to open up about, you start nitpicking on other things, because that's your way of communicating. And, it's almost, not to offend you, because all of us have done this, but it's almost like you're a child trying to learn how to communicate, right? Or, a child that can't talk. So you start pointing at things, like grunting, you know, nobody can understand that. They don't, when you have that kind of attitude in the home towards each other, neither one of you can really understand what the real issue is, other than, oh, I didn't put my socks in the hamper, and oh, I'm sorry, I didn't unload the dishwasher, you know, whoops, I, you know, left the, you know, wet laundry in the washer for a week, oops. You know, you start to think, are we really fighting about this? Is this what we're really fighting about? Is this why we have such attitude towards each other? And it's not. It's not. None of those things have anything to do with the real core issue. Because we all fail and screw up at times. We get busy. I do it. There's times I'll throw a load in the washer before I come down to do my day job. And then, you know, I end up working late. I got to walk the dog. I got to make our dinner. And then by the time I get upstairs, and, you know, if I do a reading, I'm not getting upstairs until maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And then it's not on my mind to put the stuff from the washer into the dryer. I'm like, you know, I'll either rewash it again the next day, or if it still seems, you know, fresh, then I'll throw it in the washer the next morning. I've done that plenty of times. And does that really harm anything? Does that really harm a relationship? No, it really shouldn't, because sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes we forget things, or we get really caught up and busy. But when you're constantly nitpicking about those kinds of things, that's when you have to take a step back and say, okay, we're really being petty. What is the real issue? And that's where you're getting. You need to get to the real issue about you're not feeling the excitement and passion and chemistry in your particular situation. Why? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. But when I clarified, you know, the desire, the, you know, lust and sexual chemistry, not getting someone not getting their desires filled, so to speak, we ended up with the Hanged Man, the Six of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. It came out on the floor on the side. So, you know, the real core of the issue here is the fact that you feel like you're sacrificing yourself, right? You're getting a deeper look at what's bothering you, right? Let's go back to the compassion card, right? Showing compassion for yourself. You're not feeling the compassion right now because two people are like cactuses. So of course you're not feeling the love and the compassion. And you feel like you're sacrificing something just hanging around in this marriage while you two are nitpicking at each other, not getting to the core point of what's going on. You're so ready to jump in your boat, and you're ready to, you know, pack up this boat and move on to calmer waters. And you feel right now that even moving on, even though you're desiring passion, excitement, you know, lust and feeling good and the caress of somebody, even though that's really what you want right now, I think you would just rather move on to calmer waters independently and in a single way, right? The Queen of Swords, you know, she's loving and loyal, but she likes to maintain her independence. And I think right now you just want to maintain your independence because of the current situation is putting you in such agony, anxiety, inner turmoil, that right now you just want to be alone. And that's exactly what you should do. So when you're ready to have this conversation and open up about, hey, I think the cycle's done for us, kind of ready. I think we should part ways. You know, there isn't anything else left here to learn from each other than maybe you're learning that you desire more passion in your connections. What has your person learned? I don't know. I'm not looking into them. But you as a fire sign, you are a passionate sign. You know, you're fire. You know, it's your creativity, your spirituality. You know, it's the ideas and your ego and your sensuality. You know, that's the fire in you. But you've been holding this inside. And now you need to deal with the emotional part about having the conversation about this. So you can, but you got to approach it like, you know, the compassion card is saying. Keeping true to you and what it is you desire, but you're going to need to deliver that message in a way that's not so harsh to your partner, right? Because you are already worried about the fighting going on, right? You're already snippy with each other. You don't want to make things any worse. I think you just simply want to address the situation with your person. They're not feeling the compassion either in the situation. They're not feeling the love. Don't they want to go out and find, you know, what lights their fire? And I think that's what Spirit's saying, right? Don't forget about you. But when you're dealing with your person and opening up, do it in a way showing that, you know, both of you have just, you know, come to your cycle. You two may have actually been a karmic partner. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but basically what I'm saying is it's you both came together in this lifetime to learn a lesson from each other. And I think your lesson and your learning is I desire passion. I don't want the passion and excitement and sexual chemistry to die out, right? That's what you've learned. You now know that that is important to you in a relationship to still have that physical contact, right? Where maybe that's a lesson your person needs to learn is that's just not what they're interested in. Maybe they're more interested in having a pal that, you know, they can go travel with, right? Everybody desires different things. And so I did dig in a little. I pulled from the Mystic Black Rose Oracle, and I wanted to know, so what is it that Sagittarius, what is it that they desire? So this was interesting. So you ended up with witchcraft, love, and observing. So what this tells me is I'm talking to a Sagittarius that you see other people around you in genuine love connections. Whether you're on Facebook, you know, people are getting into relationships. The friends you have that are married, you're seeing, you know, that they seem to be getting along. You know, there isn't a lot of negativity. However, you know, while you're observing that, it's you also in your own way have a little bit of a negative outlook, okay, on genuine love. And that's because you've been in a cycle where it hasn't felt genuinely loving. So you're coming out of it with a little bit of a, you know, a bad taste in your mouth. So, you know, while you observe other couples that are in genuine connections, you desire that because you're daydreaming about it with the desire and the chemistry. You're daydreaming. Your subconscious is saying, hey, that's really what you want. But right now, when you see it you know, in other couples, or when you're out, you know, if you happen to go out to dinner, or if you go up to a bar, you know, and you see the dining room tables around you, and you see couples together and they're sitting next to each other and they're having conversation, they're smiling at each other, you know, you see it, you want it, it is your desire, but you do have a little bit of a negative outlook on it right now. And that's why I think it's right that you become single for a little bit, right? In the Queen of Swords energy, just being independent while you heal a little bit, because you can't jump into something still, you know, as a cactus with a negative outlook. Anybody you meet, they're going to be like, whoa, negative Nelly, you know, negative Nick, you know, they're going to be like, oh, I don't know about that. So you're not going to be in the right frame of mind to meet somebody you want to meet until you, you know, you're taking the time to be independent and kind of work on the anxiety and inner turmoil from having a bad taste in your mouth from this marriage or high level commitment, whatever it means to you. So let's pull a higher self message and see what we have in here. See if there's any advice. What do we have for Sagittarius, please? What do we have for Sagittarius? Okay. There is a way if you are willing to change the way you see it. What did I just tell you? You can't make this up. Remember, I was saying you are observing other people who are genuinely in love. But right now, you're still in a bad place because you haven't been able to have that conversation to end the cycle with this commitment or marriage that you're in. Okay? So you know, you need to change your outlook, and the only way to do that is to clean up this cycle. Be independent for a little bit, right? Before you get yourself out and about trying to meet up with anybody new, okay? Because you won't find anybody while you're still all prickly and sticky and, you know, running around with, you know, scissors in your hands and swords and knives. Yeah, nobody wants to love on that. So you need to change that. Again, your subconscious knows that this is what you want. So change the way you see it, okay? And that might even help you, right? Get a little bit more momentum to have this conversation for you to get where you need to be. And oh, by the way, help your person get where they need to be. So, all right, Sagittarius, I hope this was helpful. Much love and light. I will talk to you soon.